Welcome to Watch What Crappens. To get our videos as soon as they're released instead of waiting for a week, head over to our Patreon. That's also where you'll find our bonus episodes and our Discord community. We love you guys.
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens. I'm Ronnie, that's Benuni over there. Hello, Ben. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
Good. Everybody, welcome back to Watch What Crappens. It is Vanderpump Rules Day for all those who celebrate. We will be covering that after Salt Lake City, so come back later for little Pumpy Rules. We're back, darling. Better than ever. I don't know if we're better than ever, but I'll tell you what, the Philips Hue bulbs are still a-burning in that place. A lot of pink lighting. Yep. Okay. That's coming up. Monday, we have an Amazon Live. Join us for that every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And that's it, really, right now. You know what? That's it, okay? We're getting ready to record with the Reality Gaze, our Christmas movie for the year. We finally decided it will be The Secret Santa, which is a really stupid movie on Netflix. An incredibly stupid movie on Netflix. So
Did you watch it already?
No, I just watched a preview and I was like, why? Why do we do this? You know?
I believe it's called My Secret Santa, not The Secret Santa. Just
My Secret Santa.
To really make sure we're, we want to honor the form.
Yeah,
so.
It's about a girl who decides to pretend to be Santa. So she gets some gays over, I'm assuming. And they do all this like CGI and makeup on her. And so she becomes Santa. So, guys, hilarity will ensue, okay? We'll be doing that during Christmas week. Oh.
Yes. I have to say, first of all, thank you to our listeners for listening to our show, because all this Spotify rap stuff started coming out. And so we looked at ours and the numbers were crazy. And it said that our listeners on Spotify listen to 230 million minutes of us. So thank you. Thank you for spending that time. That is crazy. So thank you very much.
Yes. And thanks to all the partners and husbands out there, wives who listen.
Dogs.
Who are forced to listen as well. Suckers. We look forward to torturing you for another year, at least. But today we are torturing you with these sweet screeches of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 12, First Amendment Rights and Wrongs. Ooh.
You know, Ronnie, you've often said that Salt Lake City is the community theater of the Housewives. Oh, yes. And this was the closest that has come to reality, because this was an episode where the women got into cheap costumes and sat on a stage in sort of like a V formation, cheating out to the audience. And we're like literally putting on a scene for us at like a community, like a warehouse. Like this was as close to your description as we could possibly get. I mean, they were literally in a warehouse doing a scene.
And they were saying, like, for anybody who's ever done community theater, we've heard these lines in rehearsal before, like when you're sitting around and you're going through notes and somebody gets all mad because they keep getting a note and they just can't ever get their scene right or whatever. And then you just hear, alcoholic, pill popper. We've all been there.
All been there.
What an episode.
Amazing. And what was also great is that, as we will get to, they all had quill pens, which meant that then when they started to argue, they couldn't resist shaking their quill pens at each other. So even though they were having very serious arguments and yelling and crying and making accusations, they were shaking these like frilly feathers at each other. And it just was such a hilarious visual.
And then my favorite piece of theater, Whitney Rose sitting on her patio with a glass of wine, pretending she didn't understand what MLMs were and blaming everything on Justin. What a dick this lady is. What an absolute piece of work this woman is. And you know what? I found it absolutely hilarious. And just Justin's face, like, don't really know what to say about that, Whit.
Her
Sorry.
train of thought was a little odd. It was well, we'll get to it, but it was.
How dare you
funny.
Force me to go into an MLM? I could have been in Sephiroth's. No, you couldn't have. Girl, they wouldn't even take that shit in Luby's, and we all know it.
She's acting like she turned down like $1 billion. She's acting like she's gonna be the next Selena Gomez. Like I was gonna be Selena Gomez.
Hilarious. No. Okay, so we open with Bronwyn in one of her wacky outfits, picking up Todd from the airport. This also, I mean, literally every scene in this I loved. You know, a lot of people have been maybe complaining about this episode online, just saying it's kind of boring. I did not think it was boring.
What?
I thought it was fabulous. I mean, even this first scene with her showing up in that airport in that sloth costume. But the best part, even though she's in an inflatable sloth costume, the best part was just watching Todd alone at baggage claim. Just the amount of annoyance and perturbance on his face, her perturbery, just being like,
perturbitude. He was just angry. He was angry from flying. He was angry for being at the bag carousel. He was angry that there was cameras capturing him from 2 different angles. And he knew that every single time a bag came down that conveyor belt, he was like, well, it's another bag that's not mine. What a day this is. What a day of travel.
How am I going to be the first person off the plane and the last person to get their luggage? Someone call the manager.
What do you mean I had to discard my Werther's Originals? It's not even a liquid. You can bring that through the security detectors. What's wrong with that?
You can't even bring Listerine on a plane anymore. Did anybody blow up a plane with Listerine? Please point me to the news headline when that happens.
Yeah, he already looked pre-grumpy or post-grumpy from his flight.
Yeah,
he's probably grumpy because he can't look at all the things he wants to look at on an iPad anymore when he's sitting there in his seat.
Damn it. Gotta just read the headlines.
Hi, Todd. Todd, honey, what you do on the plane? And he's like,
well, I watched some videos on the iPad. I had to not watch any boobies on my texts just in case any of your lady spies are behind me. That was great.
Yeah, he literally says he's like, yeah, I watched some stuff. I looked at some stuff I downloaded onto my iPad. I was like, Todd, just don't mention the iPad. Don't bring that up. Don't mention things you downloaded. Just say you watch Crazy Rich Asians. That is the catch-all for this show now.
I don't remember the ending, though.
How come no one knows the ending to that movie?
I honestly don't remember the ending of that movie either. I just remember the mahjong scene, and then that's it. After that, it's a blank. But then again, it's also
scene was the best. Yes, with the mom when she finally won the mom over in the mahjong scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Why have we not gotten a sequel? I feel like we've been sitting here waiting dutifully for years and years. We get sequels to every other. Yeah, we get sequels to every other inane movie that's out there.
But but it's a rough economy, and no one's crazy rich anymore.
Yeah.
We were crazy rich till we saw our Netflix bill. Now we're crazy poor Asians with Netflix with 2 decent shows on it.
It's true. Honestly, everything's so expensive. It's, you're right.
How many times I'm going to watch Wednesday in a row?
Yeah, it's like... So, Bronwyn's saying that basically, she and Todd are married and, it's okay, they are having issues, but doesn't mean she doesn't want to be married to him, and that their relationship can withstand the good times and the hard times. So
Todd's she's basically Todd's still grumpy, and Todd is also still very, very rich. So, with Todd. I'm staying.
It's like,
I'm staying.
I had a week with just Muzzy and Gwyn, and once we all got our matching bobs, we sort of ran out of things to talk about, so decided I'd bring Todd back into the mix.
I can't quit my husband until he's got a bob. Everyone in my household will have a bob. We don't even see the dogs anymore, and they're walking around with little bobs. Why don't we see those dogs anymore? What happened to all the dogs? I get it. You got shamed for all the dog poop in your house. So now what did you do? Slaughter the dogs? Were the dogs fed to people under a bridge? Where are the dogs? I'm worried about the dogs now.
Is the reunion being taped right now, by the way? I think it's happening today.
Yeah, I think it is.
Andy sent out that bat signal last night saying whoever has any questions, ask them. And I was trying to come up with a really good and funny question about Bob's, but I got distracted. Also, I'm currently being dragged on Twitter, which is very fun.
Really? You?
Oh yeah.
What'd you do?
Oh yeah. Because I posted that stupid list of housewives that best house. I was like, here's my work in progress of best housewives who were cast from season 5 or later. But it was, I did this right before we did our bonus episode. Oh yeah. So shout out to our bonus episode. Among other things, we talked about this list. We talked it through. revised it. We both agreed that I had initially put Portia way too low. I don't know. Like I did the initial list. It was like 2 a.m. And I just, you start to overthink things. And I was like, well, I like Portia. Portia's great. But I don't know. Is she overrated? Is she not overrated? Sometimes she checks out. So I put her at number 7, which is still very high. And then we moved her up to number 5. Like you made a very good point of like, she should definitely be top 5. Well, the initial list is out there on Twitter and people are not happy. And but then again, people are not happy about literally every single thing. Like people are like, where's this person? Where's that person? That person's too low. Rinna should be number 5. Rinna should be number 12. How could you say this? You said Dr. Tiffany Moon, but you didn't say Dr. Wendy Asefo. It's like everyone, and it's actually hilarious.
Oh, you withheld the doctor title on accident.
Well, because Well, it was by accident, but also I'm thinking like medical doctor. And I'm also like, I always feel like we always call Tiffany Moon Dr. Tiffany Moon, but we never say Dr. Wendy Asefo. It's a fair point, actually. I mean, she's still a doctor. She deserves her doctorate. But either way, it's like, I'm getting it left and right. But it's fun. It's like,
Housewives opinions. That's what you get.
I know, exactly. It's just funny because I've never gotten such hostility before. But it's fun. It's like really fun to experience.
You're toughening up over there. Jeez.
I know you got to go through it once. Well, our poor friend, remember Eric Williams from Gas Podcast? He posted that Halloween costume he did back in October. You know about this?
What was it? Just for people who don't know.
So since he has a passing resemblance to the dad from Inside Out from Pixar. He made that he did like a sexy version of that where he basically just like stuffed his crotch, and he put that on Twitter, and it got 9 million responses from basically gays saying that he like wishes he looked like that. He's like, no, all the gays just attacked him. 9 million gays attacked him.
Oh my gosh.
9 million. He had like 9 million responses. It went viral. It's hilarious. Mine, I've had like 40. I'm like, oh my God. He had 9 million.
Wow, you should have had the cover image of your list of housewives with you, just with your junk stuffed.
I know I should have. People are unhappy that I put Dolores so high. People are really unhappy that I put Dolores and Sutton so high, which I get it. I get it, but it's like, but they're like angry. They're actually like very angry.
Yeah, like it's your personal list. Everybody has their own list. You make your own list. Yeah. Okay, make your own.
I know, but people are like, they're pissed. They're pissed. I've made the people angry. But I think we'll all survive. But it's also kind of funny. That's kind of a red badge of courage. So
yeah, I like it. A red badge of courage. Yeah. It is. Yeah, I made it through this.
I made it through 40 people. 40 people were angry at me.
You're gonna make it into 2026 so much stronger because of this, Ben. You did it, babe.
But it is a work in progress, and I did post the revised version from Patreon on Twitter as well. So, but no one seems to care about the revised. No one cares about the revised version. They only care about the initial rough draft.
Yeah. Well, anyway. You know what? We're all a work in progress, everybody. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Let's just keep on moving. Keep it moving. So Todd's like,
so how was your week while I'm gone? Let me guess, you bought a bunch of expensive clothes and threw sheets over dog shit on the ground instead of cleaning it up.
Well, yes, and also my week was like not that good. I'm in big trouble. I released a rough draft of a list of housewives on Twitter, and people are not happy about that. And also, additionally, can you guess the other reason why I'm not in good graces right now?
Maybe because you put Sutton too far up when she's a dingbat, do nothing, gold digging, humping nothing.
Well, I think that people have to realize that, like, yes, she is that, but like when she has her meltdown, they're pretty famous and she has a lot of famous lines. And I don't know, people need to reconsider that. Oh, I don't want to talk about Sutton. What did your friends do? Okay, well.
Now, one more thing. How could you put somebody on a list who betrayed Black Girl Missing?
Well, yes, I'm not saying that she's like doesn't have to be our hero. She can be our villain, but she's still worth being on the list there. And she revitalized Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when it was definitely in its rut and its post Lisa Vanderpump rut. So, I think they deserves credit for that too. But I really want to talk about my friends, Todd.
I'm unfollowing this newspaper. What do you call them now? Go ahead. Bitch about Twitter. Your friends. Bitch about the friends Twitter. I told you to stop hanging out with.
Well, just so you know, it's called Twitter, but now it's called X. I don't want to talk about my ex. How many times I tell you?
Why are we still talking about my texts?
So she's like, well, what did you advise me to do before you left when we went to get coffee? And he's like,
Well, not get involved with the situation on an airplane. Snakes on a plane. That's the last thing I'll talk about in any situation on a plane.
I don't want to talk about airplanes no more. They bring nothing but bad news to this family. Well,
Whatever happened to horses?
remember the days when you'd put in some headphones like they were a stethoscope and plug them into the armrest? That's what it's called, TWA. I miss that airline.
well, what do you think I did?
I'm sure you got involved with a bunch of dingbats in a situation on a plane, and I'm sure it turned into a shit show.
Yep, that's true. That's exactly what happened. So, well, I was trying to do the right thing, and Whitney's mad because I told Meredith what she said, and I'm really bummed now because Whitney's not going to trust me, and she's going to be mad at me. I'm like, yeah, but that's because Whitney said that thing, and you went and told Meredith. So of course she's not going to trust you, Bronwyn.
Yeah, anyone's an idiot to trust Bronwyn. She's the worst. I mean, and that's saying a lot because this is Housewives, and that's a normal thing to like hear one thing and then go. I mean, she's even worse than Heather, and Heather is the worst of all the franchises until Bronwyn. But Bronwyn, yeah, I wouldn't trust her. So Todd's like,
well, this group needs to sit down and have a kumbaya and drink some fiber because you're all constipated, every one of you.
Yeah, you're stupid. Okay, well, you know what? That was unnecessary, Todd, that last remark. You don't have to approve of what we do, but you don't have to call us stupid. But you know what I'm starting to think? It's maybe we can't seem to move forward because...
Well, there's a news flash. Hold on, let me roll down the window. Hey, news flash, my wife is starting to think.
Well, I think that everybody's worried that everybody still has something that they don't know about, you know? Does that make sense? So I had this idea. Well, my first idea was everyone should get a bob. And then I realized people are not going to do that. So I thought, well, to celebrate my citizenship and becoming an American, I was thinking of having a spill of the Boston Tea Party, which is funny because I'm pretty sure no one in the cast knows what the Boston Tea Party even is. They probably think it has something to do with brewing some Lipton and then knocking it over and saying "Go Sox," but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a Boston Tea Party, so I want to get all the gossip out and all of our animosity out, and then I think we come together and we form a new constitution, Todd. What do you think of that?
And he's like, wow, God, you know, they hanged the traitors in that area. That's what they did. You gonna hang them? What, are you gonna hang Lisa Barlow from a scarecrow post? Dare you?
Oh,
Get away from me, crows. You're disgusting.
if I only had a pride. So then we go to Whitney's house, and now here's serious Whitney staring off into the hills of her
Staring off into the freeway, whatever the hell, the freeway by a pond. She's just sitting there with her glass of wine, like,
I am so mad. I'm gonna have a scene about it.
She looks at the lights at the Paneras coming on as the sun sets. So Justin's like,
nothing calms my nerves like meditating while I stare at people parking at Jersey Mike's.
People come, people go. They get their subways, and I stay here in the same place because I failed.
I failed. So Justin comes out there and he's like, oh, hey, Whit. And she's just staring at the Panera. And he's like, what are you thinking about there, Whit? What are you thinking about?
A question no one has ever asked her. What are you thinking about, Whitney?
Do you have a blank whiteboard?
I feel like what she thinks about is like, I feel like she's still trying to figure out a puzzle from like classic concentration in 1987. It was an I, but then there was a C, and then there was a sheep. What does that mean? I see you. Thank you for understanding. We still can't figure this out though.
Well, I just saw a large transfer from our bank account to one of our vendors, and that hurt. I don't say T's at the end of words. That hurt.
Yeah. I had to lose all my T's. Because I failed, I lost the right to use the T's. So then Justin is like, I like that she's saying that like, oh my God, he's he's making payments without her like consent. And then he's like, well, I just felt like we have to make things right with people we owe money to. She's like, but why?
This woman who was
That
just
hurt.
screaming at Lisa Barlow for not paying her bills at the beginning of the season and screwing people over in business wants to screw people over in business. I mean, this is just so fucking hypocritical, Whitney. It tracks. It totally tracks.
I was really hurt when you paid the vendor we owed money to. I think what she's really
pay all the people that we ripped off.
I'm assuming what she meant is like it's just a reminder of how much they failed, is that they had to pay all this like more money going out the door. So she's like, it just sucks because my intuition going into this knew not to do it and I didn't listen. I'm like, is it about your hair color? We all understand it was for a good cause. It's all okay, Whitney.
Is it that top?
We took Woldrose.
I kept thinking she was saying Valders. Like, she has such a weird way of pronouncing. Did you notice that? She kept going,
We took Woldrose Beauty and we merged it into a new entity. And unfortunately, I made a really bad decision. And right now I'm trying to get out of ownership of this company. I'm fighting to get my name off it, to remove me as an owner, and to get back to my biggest asset, which is the name, the brand, and the inventory.
I was like, so the whole thing. Does anybody understand what the fuck Whitney is talking about in the scene? Because I actually had to do research at the end of this. And I used to actually follow Whitney's businesses quite a bit because they were always in trouble. You know, Whitney has been in trouble for years, ever since she's come on this show, for her businesses being MLMs and everything else, them coming for Whitney for this. And there was a big TikTok scandal last year, in October of last year, which I know because I looked it up, about this business. And I still don't understand what the hell's going on. I still don't. And I'm trying, you guys. I'm making an effort. But apparently she had an MLM with Justin's MLM because she met Justin doing MLMs. That's when they started their affair. He was running an MLM. She was working for the MLM. They had an affair on both their spouses, whatever. They left their spouses. Fine. They're having fun now. They're happy. But he's continued to do MLMs. That's the company that he left after their chocolate sex spanking scandal. And that is now the job that he has again. So the fact that Whitney's just pretending like,
well, you talked me into an MLM. I never wanted to do that.
It's crazy.
Right. Well, also when she's like, I need to get back my biggest asset, which is my Wild Rose Beauty name. I'm like, is that your biggest asset? Because you just said it's just a big failure. It's nothing but failure. I'm like, even if you do get it back, people are gonna see Wild Rose and just associate it with whatever thing it just got associated with. Start fresh, Whitney. I mean, cash in on your fame for sure, but start fresh. It's okay. There are other names out there. You can make other words with Rose. It's all good. I say leave it behind and start something new. Like, this is too much work.
And it's her third one since the show started. It's her third business, which is crazy.
Yeah, don't throw good money after bad. You know what? Like after TV-gasm, I left TV-gasm. That was something I had started, and I was like, you know what? Moved on, and you just move on. You just start something new. You just go forward. You know, like it's sad to leave your babies behind, but luckily my baby was in the hands of you, so it was in good stewardship.
And I ran it,
but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it wasn't really your fault. But either way, the point is that like sometimes you make things and then you move on. It's okay. Come on, Wild Rose.
Yeah, and I moved on to Crappens. You see, well, I moved on to Trash Talk TV, and then Crappens. It all works, guys. It all works out.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Now,
that's business advice from your aunts.
Yeah, your aunties, and a lot of them will fail, and that's okay. Failure's fine.
That's okay.
Just keep going. So Whitney is saying she doesn't feel like she was being told the truth with Justin because I never would have fucking done this. My vision was to go to Sephora and Ulta and Target and to get away from MLM. And then literally the week that she made a decision to go direct selling MLM was the week that she met the buyer of Sephora to get Wild Rose Beauty into big box stores. And then Justin and the partners flashed numbers in front of her, and she felt like she had no other choice but to go MLM. And so she did it because she trusted Justin, and she's really mad at herself. Okay, Whitney, go ahead.
Did they flash numbers in front of her face, or was she taking a selfie with a timer and it was saying 3, 2, 1?
They were throwing SpaghettiOs at your face, okay? Because you wouldn't get out of the way of the projector, okay? And those were letters, not numbers.
Were you just looking at the speedometer on your car? Look at all those numbers.
Okay, you had a meeting with Sephora. Did you get into Sephora? Because this is the thing. You can have a meeting with people, but if your goal was to get into Sephora, I think that's a great goal. I mean, look, of course I'm saying like, ain't nobody want that in Sephora. Okay, that's my opinion. But also my opinion is if that's your goal, that's a great goal to have. That's a cool goal. But to give it up the week that you have your first meeting, it's not like you had already sold it to Sephora. I don't know. I have a problem with her blaming everything on Justin. I have a problem with it because this is we've watched from the very beginning. Justin had his job, then he lost his job because of the stuff they were doing on camera. Then that was rough on her, and then blah, blah, blah. Then she took all the money out of their account to put it into this business, and that was another big thing between them that she did that. And now she's blaming him for losing everything. And I don't know. I don't think that's fair. That seems wrong to me.
I'm okay with blaming some of it on Justin. If she had a vision and then he like pressured her to go his route. I mean, look, you know, she's her own person and she can make her own decisions and her choices. She learned the hard way what happens when you don't. I think like she's allowed to have some resentment towards Justin. But we're assuming that her story is completely true. And I'm Whitney, right now so. It's Whitney. But I'm taking it at face value. But
I don't, because they leave all this stuff out. They leave all this stuff out about all this MLM stuff. Here's what I can see what happened. Now, first of all, my opinion is based on only what we're seeing on the show and what I've found on the internet. There is no concrete truth to this. Nobody really knows what happened to the business. She's saying that they got wrapped up in a Justin company, the company failed, and that's it. From what I see happened, they took Wild Rose Beauty immediately into an MLM. It was never anything else. So they took Wild Rose Beauty. They had all those openings last year that we saw for ambassador, for influencers and all of that, which were basically people to build the pyramids, which is what MLMs are. Then she got called out. Then it became a huge thing on TikTok because people who worked there were talking about what a ripoff it was and how they were all getting ripped off from this thing. It turned into a PR disaster. And then that's when it went south. So I think she's trying to blame all of that we know about on the internet on Justin, and I just don't think that's fair. These two have been involved in MLMs for years and years and years. So I don't think it's like Whitney just didn't know it was an MLM and she could have been in Sephora's. I just don't buy it. Well, but that's all I'll say about it. I've already monologued for an hour about it.
To me, I think all things can be true. I think she could still have pressured her, and I think that she still knowingly went down that path. What I do think, though, is what I was kind of chuckling about the entire time. And, you know, it's mean to chuckle at someone's business, you know, going down the tubes, especially because businesses are off limits, which, by the way, they're not. Businesses are not off limits on a Real Housewives show. I think they are totally on limits. Children, fine, because you can cause trauma in their development, and they could lead to like terrible things in their lives. But businesses, yeah, come on. But I do think there was a part of me that was chuckling every time. She was sort of like implying like she had her sliding doors moment. And if she had just pivoted in one direction instead towards this buyer at Sephora, like she would have had like billions of dollars. And I'm like, I don't know if that's guaranteed, to be honest. You never know. You never know who's going to like make it big in these spaces. But I'm just not sure Whitney was the one who was going to break through at Sephora.
Yeah. Well, she says,
the minute you had an opportunity to take my baby, you said, let's make $1 billion company. And that's why I said yes, because if Justin believes it and we're working together, then it can't fail.
Well, so then this is where I thought it was strange. Her whole thing was like, you've never, ever, ever taken an interest in my businesses, and I really resent you for that. And then you finally did, and then you ruined it. That's kind of what she's saying. I'm like, so are you saying that you were unhappy that he came in, or are you saying that you wish that he had, like, are you happy? Are you unhappy that he never paid attention to your business? Or are you unhappy that he did pay attention to your business in this case? Like, I'm sort of like, I couldn't quite get the through line there.
Well, I think she wanted him to do the MLM thing with her business years ago, and he couldn't because he had non-compete clauses with his job. So he couldn't help her in that way. But now that he can help her, he did bring it into an MLM, and then it failed. And they also had another partner in the MLM. So if this was failing, or felling, as she says, as a bigger thing within an entity, they're going to cut that one off, right? You know, especially if it has all this bad press and everybody's dogging its name, you can't really win that back online. If everyone on TikTok's like, this business sucks and it's robbing people and it's ripping people off and it's an MLM, there's really no coming back from that, you know. So,
which is why it's funny that she wants to keep her Wild Rose name. She's like, that's the most important asset that I have, a tarnished brand.
All I want is to be able to come out and call my store Blockbuster.
It's like, oh.
I've decided to rebrand, and my new company's name is Enron.
BP.
So Justin's like, well, I don't really know what to say except saying sorry for getting you involved. I mean, he looks so confused. He's like, really? You're gonna you told me this was gonna be a scene of us looking at the Panera closing down, and now it has to be now it's you dogging me on TV. God damn it.
We were supposed to make a wish at 11:11 over the lights at the Panera, and now instead you're making me have to explain the situation. So she's like, I'm trying not to resent you. It's just hard to separate you from that. And so the producer says, is there going to be a change in the marriage, or has there been one? Because in the beginning, when it was all crumbling, it did bring Justin and I closer. And it's really making me struggle because separation from the business and the marriage, it's all become like one. And now I don't. No, she literally like runs out of steam while she's doing her confessional. We're like, come on, Whitney, you can do it. You can make it to the end of your monologue. I'm just kind of there.
And he's like, well, I mean, look, I made a mistake. Like, obviously I feel the resentment, but you know, like, I always know your company's going to be successful. I just thought it was a way we could work together, babe.
She's like, yeah, but that was my everything. I had that company for 2 weeks.
It was everything, and now it's gone. Listen, why don't you just go to where the real money is? Open up a soda shop. You're there in Utah. Your daughter will be there. Her gums will be on the spigot, you know, with all of her classmates. Just go to where the kids are, okay? Give them the caffeine and the sugar that they want.
No, you can't become a heroin dealer when your daughter is an addict, okay? That's a bad family advice. And we all know that Bobby is a soda addict. We've seen that little drunk at the skating rink when she's like,
I never every Saturday I want, Mama. I'm going to get me some Sprite and some Dr. Pepper.
What you going to say about that, witch?
I know. I say, like, join in. Do it.
Speeding off in her golf cart, running over a baby in the street. Girl, that girl's a drunk. This is a soda drunk.
Everyone's trying to be Bethany Frankel. Everyone's trying to come up with like a business idea. They're trying to capitalize on their fame on these shows, and I get it. It's very American to do that, and everyone's like, I can be the one that pushes through, and I can have a huge success. Yada yada yada. I get it, but like, I don't know. Like, go for something a little bit more local. Like, open up a soda parlor, open up a bowling alley. I don't know. Like, not everything has to make it to Forbes.
Also, don't do like a predatory business, maybe. You know, don't open a business that's like predatory on women trying to make a living, which is what MLMs for the most part are. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for Whitney, who's an MLM head. Those are known for being monstrous businesses, and now she's acting like a victim. Well, haha. Maybe come up with a real idea that doesn't involve, you know, hurting women, ma'am.
How about call it? How about multi-level milkshakes?
Now that I'm into. Yes, suddenly I'm a Whitney Rose fan. Yes, Whitney for president.
Yeah, just like, you know, I think my general note for the housewives who are trying to cash in on their fleeting fame, my note is stop trying to come up with things we've seen a million times on Shark Tank. Skincare, pet food, all that stuff. Like address a real need. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say a real need. Obviously, pets need their food, and people need their skincare. That was totally the wrong wording. What I really meant is, like, come up with something, like address something like that's like not being addressed. So, like, the kids want their soda. I don't know. Like, just there's a world outside of doing your fashion line, of doing your skincare, of doing this. Like, just do something different, and it does.
yeah.
Don't try to be like a nationwide brand right out of the gate. Just
Baby steps.
do like a
Get
deli,
good at
open up a
something.
deli.
Get good at something, and then do that.
Yeah.
But who knows? So we go over to Heather's house, and we just leave Justin's teeth behind because Justin is really like this. He's just like confused, and we just see the top row of his teeth and gums. He's like, "What the fuck?"
He's like the Cheshire Cat.
Yeah. So then we go to Heather's house, and she is decorating her daughter Annabelle's room in Tampa college colors, which are red and black. Who knew?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I
Who
feel
knew?
like Tampa would have like more Miami type
Pastels.
colors, right? Yeah, pastelly.
Yeah, I'm actually a little disappointed in Tampa. Like you're in Florida, like that gives you licenses to do like all sorts of like fun bright colors, but red and black is a little gloomy, a little bloody,
Yeah, and I'm in Austin, and so I see that color and I think of the Aggies, and I don't even know anything about football, but I know we're supposed to hate them. So every time you see maroon people crossing a crosswalk, you have to rev your engine like you're about to hit them, And then they look at you like, you, and then you do Longhorns in their face and you speed off and you roll your window down and goes, yeah, suck that, Aggie, suck it.
Although now that I think about it, isn't red and black also University of Utah? My nephew goes there, and he gave me a sweatshirt that I believe was red and black. But I don't know, like this Tampa red and black. I don't know. I think that it's fine for Utah to be red and black. I just think that Tampa should be like flamingo colors, pink and black.
I think so too, and like flowers, like
flowers,
or like a
Yeah,
leopard print or
100%.
something. Yeah, something
And
tacky.
I think every school in Florida has to have colors that match that scheme. Like no primary colors, just pastels and fluorescence.
And like Robert Goulet should be the principal.
Yeah.
Even though he's
so
dead.
that's I just want 100% he can do it. I just want the University of Tampa to take notes. If that's is it University of Tampa? Tampa State University.
I'm
Tampa
looking
Mechanical
at Tampa
College.
State school colors. Yeah, scarlet and black.
Scarlet.
Okay, so they're decorating and they're making small talk. I really don't care. This is super boring. Except it was fun when Heather said,
I have had 2 major changes in my life this year. The first one is that I bought an air fryer. It's changed my life.
and then we see her making what she calls, what do they call it? Like an all in, they call it like an all in the tub, a mixed bag.
A mixed bag. Yeah. I have to say, I'm like a bit shocked. I'm actually of all the things I've been disappointed with Heather Gay, as once our fearless leader on this show, I think the thing I'm most disappointed is that it took her this long to get an air fryer, because she just has air fryer energy. Like I would have actually thought she's had an air fryer this entire time. And I would have thought like the best part about Heather Gay is that, you could probably like hit her up and be like what are the air fryer recipes? And to know that she's a newbie with it is like shocking.
It is. But I love that Heather is just catching on to air fryers. Like it
I know.
It does kind of track, So she talks about air frying and we see how excited she's been. Can't believe they cut that, because it looks like she planned on that being her storyline for the season, and they're just fitting it in episode 12 in a flashback. And I felt kind of bad for her.
I would have preferred that, to be honest. Like that's actually a storyline I would have 100% gotten behind. Like if every episode she was trying something new, she's trying new recipes, she's developing an air fryer cookbook. Like I'm into that. Like watching kids go to college it's not that we're watching the kids go to college. It's just that she's sort of just talking about how she redid her office. That's basically it.
Yeah, so they talk about that, and they talk about her going to college, and I don't care. So then we go to, do you care? Can I move on?
I care deeply. Let's go through every single detail of this scene.
I'd rather talk about all the other useless crap we've talked about for 45 minutes. So we go to Bronwyn's house, and she's full of pride flags, guys, and she's putting them in envelopes. And she's asking Muzzy to bring her a spreadsheet. And she explains, I'm a big supporter of the LGBTQIA community. And I was horrified when there was a passing of a law in Utah that pride flags could not be displayed at any government building. So I just thought one way I could show support is just mailing people pride flags if they need one. So my mom and I have made, multiple trips to the sex store that also sells pride flags.
So yeah, she's dragged Muzzy. Muzzy got some sort of media training where they were like, Muzzy, we don't care how you feel about any of these things. Just smile and get along. Otherwise, America will destroy you. So she's like, okay, I'm at the sex store now. This is okay. This is interesting. Okay.
Muzzy, you are currently being stoned to death in public opinion. Go to the gay sex store. Okay. It's like anything that'll work.
So so they're looking at something and she's like, oh, look at this. Oh, this is like a penis. Don't say that word. She's like, I already did say it, mother. And it's not a bad word to say.
So she says, Mom, you coming and doing this with me, I know it's a big deal because you're a huge homophobe and hate gay people. And I know that this is, how you feel politically and stuff. This isn't your lane. And, I know sometimes it's very hard for you to support gay people. Okay, look, everybody, that's my mother. She normally doesn't support gay people.
Mother, I know this is not politically what you are into, but your eyebrows say otherwise. So I'm going to say they do have a I don't know if you heard this, but your eyebrows have been hired to be a guest judge on RuPaul next season. So congratulations.
Well, as long as it helps you, dear, I don't care. Now, if you ask me to go to a strip show, I might draw the line there.
Okay, we've had enough line drawing all over your face. It is just those eyebrows. I seriously can't. I'm not going to help you, though, because it's very important for me that America hates you while they see me being kind to you.
Well, one of the reasons why I haven't fixed my mom's brows is she said you can either have the brows or the bob, and I chose the bob, so she gets the bob. So I give her the bob. She gets to keep her eyebrows. So, it's sacrifices that we make. She's, well, I love doing crazy things that I wouldn't do on my own. Crazy, crazy things. Like mailing pride flags. Like, whoa. Normally when people say that, it's like bungee jumping or like streaking across the town square. She's like, touching a pride flag. I love doing crazy things.
And she's probably, taking a Sharpie to those flags and just writing, fix yourself, and then mailing them to the gay kids in Idaho or whatever.
You could be
so she says,
well, dear, I don't worry about what other people think anymore, like I used to, because I'm a grown-up now.
Are you? So do I have to wait until I'm 80 to be a grown-up? Because, I very much worry about what other people think of me. I'm like, well, listen, you do show up at the airport dressed as an inflatable sloth. So if you're concerned about people viewing you as a grown-up or not, there are some ways you could adjust that.
You dress like a melted crayon. Okay. So no, you don't. You have more confidence. You have more confidence than you lead on. And she's like, well, I do care what other people think about me still. I very much do, Mom. And I very much worry about what you think of me. And she goes, well, I think you should to a certain extent. I mean,
I don't care what people think about me because I'm pretty awesome. But you, maybe you should think about that a little bit. Shame does have its upside.
Well, Mother, in the past, you and I have struggled because I was making choices that you didn't really agree with, and you were very vocal about those lessons, Mother. And she's like, well, I told you that I learned my lesson, Bron, and I told you. Just, well, we have moved through it, and I actually think that it's very interesting that the thing that you were most mad at me about was having Gwen, and now that you love the thing that you love best about me is Gwen.
Well, you've been a great mom for Gwen, considering your setbacks. Your personality, your needs, your neediness, all those things. But you need to be proud of what you're doing because you're doing a great job. I mean, everything you're doing is really great except for all this insane flag bailing we're doing. I don't know. And since when do we add the L into the word? I don't understand this.
So these are for Care Bears? Is that correct?
This, all that aside, this is nice to see. I know Muzzy has pissed us all off, including me. But this is actually very nice to see this scene. I really like it. It's 2 weeks in a row where Muzzy has had decent scenes. I'm not saying the best. Yeah. I know she called her an oopsie last week, but some of our moms just talk to us that way, and it's their way of being cute. But it's nice seeing it, and as someone who's always had a up and down, mostly, when I was younger, mostly down relationship with my mom. I have a very difficult mom, and I can be very difficult as well. And I've talked about it on this show for years. Me and my mom have come to a place, and a lot of it has had to do with us both just letting go of shit from the past, and also just letting go of shit from the present, because there's just not anything we're going to do to change. And it has been worth it to me, because there have been times where I think we both could have just cut each other off and gone no contact and done all that stuff. And we've actually put in the work to not do that. And honestly, the biggest piece of that work has been both of us shutting our fucking mouths a lot of the time. And it frustrates us both, but I think that it has worked. And so it is very good for me. I feel really good, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm really touched to see it happen for Bronwyn too, because it's not easy, girl. And it's nice to see that on TV. I know people still want to throw Muzzy overboard, but I'm going to give it to her for this one. I feel for her.
Well, I'm proud of Muzzy because normally it takes 2 seasons to have these scenes. You have your season where you get trashed by the audience, and then the next season you've seen it all, and you come back. You're like, this is the new me. I'm a nicer. And this is kind of like when they took Dancing with the Stars and made it like a one-night affair. Like it used to be, they would dance on one night, and then you get the results the next night. And then they decided, no, we're going to do it all in one episode. And that's basically what they're doing here. She's like, you know what? I was bad earlier in the season, and I'm already having my redemption scenes in the same season. And it's they just accelerated it. So good for her.
Yeah, she's all making out with Lynn in the corner.
R.I.P.
Yeah. So, he died?
Yeah, he died.
I stopped watching that show. So they have a nice little scene, and she's like, but I am proud of you. And she goes, but I need to hear it. And she's like, okay, Bronwyn, but I am proud of you, and I don't say it a lot because I just don't like saying stuff like that. It's disgusting, but I've always wanted to make you, and Bronwyn's like, well, I've always wanted to make you proud of me, mother, and I've always wanted you to think I did something worthwhile. And she's like, well, I am proud of you, because look at you. You've got a bob, your daughter has got a bob, and I've got a bob. What more do you need to say? I'm a winner.
What's the opposite of generational trauma? Generational bobma. Okay, that's what we have.
Boberational trauma.
Operational trauma. She's like, but you always, look, you always went around telling Gwen crazy things like you're the best thing, or the smartest, or you're so pretty. Things that you just would never tell a child, and you did it, and it's working out pretty well. And we just did it different, Mom. Yeah, you did it the lazy, stupid way, and I did it the tough way. But I guess, look, she wound up with the bob at the end of the day. So, as they all say, at the end of the day, you get a bob for a bob. And that's where we all are. So, you know what? I'm okay
You did
with
good,
it.
kid. I like when she said, but you didn't like the way I raised you, being judgmental all the time. And so you changed it, and you changed the cycle. And that's great. Good for you.
Yeah.
Your confidence in doing things incorrectly is to be commended, Bronwyn.
And
but I
look
thought
at the
that
way
was
Gwen
sweet.
just rolled her eyes at you at the bonsai store. It just goes to show you can be judgmental or not judgmental. They're still going to hate you for it. So might as well be judgmental and have fun with it.
And then Muzzy subtly reminds us that Bronwyn is bad in another way. She's like, well, I would give you a hug, but I know how much you hate that. And she goes, yeah, I no hugs. She goes, yeah, and you pass that on to Gwen. Look at her, your bob shield. Both of you walking around with a bob shield. She's like, yeah, I'm prickly, mother. I'm like a hedgehog. Do not touch me. Okay, we're good. I thought you were gonna hug me, but okay. Mm-hmm.
No, I know that my mom sees that I've done things differently, but in a way that's been successful. But for her to be able to voice that, to be willing to say it and be willing to say it to me is a huge step for her. And I think that sometimes you just have to hear it. That's why you get a bob. So you have less hair in front of your ears so you can hear the things.
Yeah. And she's like, this is all I wanted, Mom. This is all I wanted was to be Mom. And she's like, oh, God, there you go, off the deep end. Okay, well, now I'm finding out, too, that you made the spreadsheet wrong. And so the road or the circle or the drive goes on the next line. Oh, God, we just screwed over all the gays. Good job, Bronwyn.
Producers, can we end the scene already? I think I've been nice enough to my daughter. I don't know why you're still filming me. I only got spreadsheet content left.
The camera pulls back. We just see her strangling a gerbil in her left hand, just trying to make it through the scene.
So now it's time for the main event. We go to Angie K arriving at a loading dock. She's dressed like Betsy Ross. She's got like a little bonnet in her hair, and I think she has a flag. Maybe she has a basket. I don't know. I may be just misremembering a basket. There's probably no basket. But either way, she's there and she's just standing on this like industrial loading dock in the middle of a parking lot, and she's as confused as we are.
Listen, it's not Real Housewives of Salt Lake City if someone's not filming something at a U-Haul rental center.
Seriously. So Heather's like, I have no idea, because Heather, Whitney, and Brittany are in a car. And Heather's like, I have no idea what today is all about, but I love a theme. I love a theme as much as I love sisterhood, which is what we have. So she just said, get out of the loading dock, right? That's all we have to do. And Brittany's like, well, we have to meet her on a platform. And that part is just so confusing. A platform? What's a platform? Okay, someone settle down, Brittany. Okay, you think that's the most confusing part? I thought us dressing up like Hamilton was confusing.
So then Lisa and Meredith are in their car, and Meredith's like,
what do we have going on here? I don't know. You know, we're just going to some warehouse place, I guess. Like, where the hell are we going?
Yeah, where are we going to? So now Angie's still waiting alone. She's like, I still don't know if I'm in the right place. I swear this is the address she gave me. Now it's like no surprise that like in the previews for next week, they wind up going to Greece, because Angie K's probably like, yeah, I spent a lot of money on this outfit just to wear it at a loading dock. So I'm going to need us to go to someplace nice.
yeah, I've had enough of this crap. So now back in the Whitney car, she's like,
Brittany, how are you? I haven't seen you since my house.
And she's like, well, I did meet Meredith in the park. And Whitney's like, why the park? Because you're on Salt Lake City. Where else would you meet? You've already gone to the 2 restaurants they'll allow you into in town.
Sorry, the parking lot with the mound of dirty snow has been booked, so you'll have to go to the park.
Sorry, the rusty chain link fence is busy today.
I know.
Well, if Meredith called me to meet me at the park at high noon, I would say no thanks.
It does seem like a duel, right? Like it seems like walk 10 paces and turn around and shoot. Like, isn't that like funny? I love that Brittany, who is a child of musical theater, dressed like Hamilton, doesn't even realize, like, can't even make a Hamilton joke right there. She doesn't even realize the link. She's like, it's really funny, right? It's almost like we're 2 founding fathers, but we're having a duel. My God, that's so funny. Huh. Anyway, it seemed like she was just like not contrite enough to apologize when I talked to her. And then I said, okay, well, I can see that what I said was a trigger and it was shady because it was. And Whitney's like, by the way, Whitney also did the makeup on her lip in such a way that her top lip looks like it's touching her nose. She like overdid her line. She like made it extend too high. So she looks kind of crazy this entire scene. She's like, so she didn't address verbally attacking you?
Then what did she apologize for? Hurting my feelings.
And they just roll their eyes. And so meanwhile in the other car, Meredith is like,
well, we agreed to treat each other with kindness and respect.
Oh, but that's not going to last long.
So Heather's like,
wait a minute. So you forgive her and you guys are friends now? And she's like, well, maybe we'll never be friends, but I just don't want to harbor anger. And Whitney's like, wait, you're going to accept her apology like a step forward? Well, I'm proud of you because I don't think I could do it.
And they're mad, of course, because their pawn in this has now settled things, which means that they're going to have to go into this fight against Meredith alone because Brittany has now left their side. And let's also not forget that the reason they're in this fight with Meredith is because Meredith refused to join their side against Lisa on that boat. Remember when they called Meredith in and were like, we're going to go after Lisa. You going to do it with me? And then Meredith refused. And then guess who they went after? Meredith. Immediately after Meredith refused to be their little bestie and film with them, they turned her into an alcoholic and a pill popper. Well, in rumors. So she's probably already an alcoholic and a pill popper list.
So Whitney is like,
I'm glad it made Brittany feel good that Meredith gave her an apology, but I would like Meredith to take accountability with everyone because Meredith accused us of lying about it.
Yeah, because you were lying about it. In my humble opinion, you were exaggerating, which is a form of lying. Okay. So now they arrive, and Angie's like, I thought I was tricked into this. I thought I was invited to a costume party, and you guys were coming in ball gowns.
We pioneered all the way over here.
oh yes, you are Mormon pioneer. So Whitney starts putting on lip gloss, and Heather's like, there was no lip gloss in colonial times. But you know what they did have in colonial times? A flask. A flask I was able to carry because my daughters are moving out of the house. So I can have a flask. She's my new daughter now.
And then they show a picture of like George Washington on a bowl or some shit with a flask drawn in. She's like,
You'd be hard pressed to find a colonist without a flask.
So then now they're like they're drinking from the flask, and Angie K basically just sticks the whole thing in her mouth. Like, no, you're getting your lips. You're supposed to just pour it into your mouth, not suck from it.
So Meredith comes in, and they all get quiet again. And
because
they're also pissed because Lisa is not dressed properly. As usual, Lisa refused to do the costume.
Lisa is, she's sort of wearing a flouncy shirt or blouse that kind of suggests colonial times, but she's like, I'm not doing a costume. And Meredith is like wearing some sort of like sack shirt that's like bundled. It's like a sack of money, but it's a shirt. It's like all bundled at the top with like a drawstring. It's like, this is, it's up there with that crazy outfit she wore to the flower party. When I don't know, she has some real funky looks, this Meredith Marks.
Yeah.
You can't just say that you're Hamilton. You have to be Hamilton. Well, maybe if you can cite the Gettysburg's address.
Yeah, I'm sure if I can, if I pull it up on my phone. 40 years ago, Whitney was a bitch, and she's still a bitch 40 scores later.
Yeah. Where's Mary? So Mary's running late, but in the meantime, this door opens up at the loading dock, and there's Bronwyn, and she's in this giant black dress, which is actually kind of cool. And she is basically like, come on in. She's like, well, I've been studying for my American citizenship test to become a U.S. citizen, so I love that everybody is humoring me with this. So if you follow me, come on in here, and we're going to play a game that I have constructed, and I will get very mad at, even though I knew all along it was a game. Okay, come on in.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? This is all about citizenship? How did I not know this? I would have just called ICE a season ago.
So Bronwyn is like, well, I think we have to really channel a founding fathers look, so everyone have a wig. So there's an array of powdered wigs out on the table for everyone to use. And Bronwyn's like, I'd like to have you step back to 1773. And they're all confused because I feel like they don't even understand. Like,
no one knows what the fuck is going on, which is great.
Yeah.
So Bronwyn's like, okay, I would like to welcome you to my version of the Boston Spill the Tea party. The colonists were very angry because they were being taxed without representation, and many of us in this group often feel like we are not represented correctly. So on social media, in private conversations, in arguments, and so we are going to have a little similar enactment of what the Boston Tea Party is.
Mary shows up and she's like, what the hell? And then she looks at the wigs and she's like, I'm not putting any of these on my head. But then she's like, luckily I have my own.
It's like, I got my own. She just whips one out of her purse. Oh, just gotta have your emergency founder's wig. You never know what's gonna happen. So Bronwyn explains that they had the protest, they spilled the tea, and after the mess was made, they cleaned it up and were able to move forward. I didn't know that was part of it. They spilled the tea into the harbor and then they cleaned it up. What kind of protest is that?
I don't remember them cleaning it up. I mean, maybe
neither.
they naturally cleaned up like some of the mess they made on the boat or wherever they were. I just remember them spilling the tea. I think that's like the big takeaway. I don't remember any sort of
the cleanup. I feel like if there was a cleanup, all of our mothers would remind us of that growing up. You know, like,
Oh, really? You don't clean up? Even the founding fathers cleaned up their protest.
or whatever. It would have been shoved down our throats. I don't remember that. I think that's a lie. But they made the Constitution, and that applies to us as friends, guys. So get something to eat, and then we're going to judge the fuck out of each other with wigs on, is basically the goal here.
Right. And so she also has like a spread of like, looks like egg salad sandwiches and scones, but also J-Dogs, which what are J-Dogs? I should have looked this up ahead of time. Like instead of hot dogs or J-Dogs, it's a fast casual hot dog restaurant chain primarily in Utah. Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. They got some fast food J-Dogs. So Mary comes in.
If Whitney You could be making hot dogs. Look, stop worrying about the skincare. Make some hot dogs and soda. Come on, the money is right there.
W dogs.
Wild Rose
So
hot dogs.
wit dogs. So Mary comes in and she's like, "Is this real food? What is this?" It's like, it's clearly hot dogs.
She goes, they're hot dogs. She goes, do hot dogs go that far back? Are they BC? I'll take McDonald's at this point. I'll even have a fish fillet because I know what that is. Speaking of McDonald's, this coffee is brought to you, Bob, from McDonald's. See, my straw as evidence.
Far be it from me to explain to the woman who is a professional on the Bible what BC means, but that shit was funny. So Bronwyn's like, "Okay, let's bring our plates. Okay, there's a quill and there's a book with your name on it, so everybody get that." And Mary's like, "This feels like a play. Are we gonna stand up and like declare things?" And Heather thinks she's gonna win if there's a test. So the producer starts testing everybody, and they're like, "What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution?"
How do I not know that?
Rumors and nastiness.
Lisa's like, "Oh, it's the Declaration of Independence and Wendy's."
Our constitutional rights.
The Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights.
Ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
And how
Then
many
how many
U.S.
US
senators are
senators?
there?
I want to say 50, but I think there's more. Okay, there's one French fry in every container that represents a senator. That's 23 French fries.
Let's see. There's one in every country, so 51. It's like I don't even know what Angie K is. Where she even went with that one. And Heather's like,
Well, oh my goodness. Let's see. Senators, well, I'll tell you one thing. In this sisterhood, there's a lot of sinners. So I would say there's a lot of senators, sinner sisters. And it's like,
Constitutional rights.
Brittany literally goes, I mean, I got a 4.2 in high school. I was the valedictorian, but it's all just gone now. It's gone. Not the valedictorian. Not the valedictorian. Oh my God. And she said it totally earnestly. She was not trying to be funny. 100 senators. The correct answer is 100.
Yes, because there's 2 for each state and there's 50 states. So 100. So Bronwyn got it. And she's like, "Okay, everybody, we're going to have our own private Boston Spill the Tea party today. So behind your chairs, you'll find your own little ceremonial tea. You can throw it into the harbor, and you're going to label it with the name of the person you have maybe spilled the tea about. Okay?"
Okay, well, I think the forefathers might have been smarter than me but I'm using something out of their playbook. So you got to break all the crates of tea wide open and pollute the shit out of that harbor, and then fight for what you want and what it is. And honestly, I can only do so much connecting this theme to our TV show today. I think I've done enough. Do I have to really keep explaining this?
Bronwyn, do you not remember Puerto Vallarta? Apparently Bronwyn didn't get enough of a beating the last time we tried this.
And we see flashbacks to Bronwyn reading that text message about like Todd's got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel.
So Lisa's like,
Why do you seem so stressed, Heather?
she's like, well, because I haven't even thought about it yet. So they're trying to figure out who to spill the tea about. And so Angie's like, "Okay, well, who have I spilled the tea about? All right, Lisa." When Lisa made her announcement about her horse, and we see a flashback to Lisa being like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Kentucky Derby, so I bought a horse.
Which makes no sense. Like you're going to the Kentucky Derby, so you buy a horse.
so Angie's like, "Well, I wanted to believe her, even though I heard otherwise, so I did spill the tea about that, but I talked to other people about you not buying the horse. Their confession done."
Well, yeah, I own a horse. It's like not anything grand. It's just like for me, it's like my own horse. And I'm like looking to get a second one. It's like, what would you do with a second horse? That's nobody's business. No one needs to know about that second horse.
Why are you questioning my second horse? Who does that? You better not question my second horse. You better not question it.
You
But
made an announcement.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, you made an announcement.
No, you made an announcement that you bought a horse.
Nuh-uh. No, I didn't.
And just like, you know, if Lisa buys something, she's going to post it and brag about it. And I haven't seen any photos circulating of her riding off into the sunset on a horse. Angie's mad because she's like, horses are kind of like my family storyline. So please do not try to get in on this because I know you're faking it.
She's also like, my daughter is like into horses because she's more into my husband's side of the family. Now this is giving her an opportunity to be into somebody more than me again, you know? Like now her daughter Electra is going to like Lisa more because Lisa's into horses. And that leaves Angie kind of out in the rain even more, you know? God, could you imagine for Angie if the daughter ended up liking Lisa more because they go horseback riding together? That will kill Angie.
Electra's going to be like, hello, mother. I've decided I will join the Olympics as an Olympian for not Greece, and I'll ride Lisa's horse. How could you do this to me?
I'm riding Vita, Vita, she's so fine, Mom, in the American Olympics.
How dare you?
So then Heather's like,
Okay, so that tea is spilled. So then you throw it in the ocean, Angie.
so she throws the box over, and Lisa's like,
I'm still irritated. I'm so irritated. Yeah.
You know,
So
at
horse
this
people
point,
do. I need that.
yeah, you can either say yay or nay, and I say nay. Anyway, you know, at this point, I'd rather be at the actual Boston Tea Party, and as a New Yorker, that's saying like a lot. Lisa tried to do some weird Boston Tea Party burn. So
It's
Brittany's
like
like,
if someone from Poughkeepsie were way above Boston. So
Lisa would hate to be at the real Boston Tea Party. She's like, I have to pick this up, I have to pour it out. But like, I don't want to. I just got this dress like steam ironed. Yeah.
so Brittany's like, okay,
Okay, I'll go. So I don't have anything I can think of that I've spilled the tea about. So I would like to know who spilled the tea about me flirting with Joao.
and Mary goes, who's Joao?
Even though Mary was fully on the yacht with everyone else. And Brittany's like, well, because you know, when I got home, Jared and I broke up over it. And Mary goes, oh God, not Jared. Over Joao?
But you were broken up before the trip.
Lisa's like, yeah, but you kissed Joao.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It was on the floaty thing. Remember, you were on the floaty thing. You kissed Joao.
Well, I kissed him on the cheek. I mean, Jared got this memo that was like making out with Joao. And Heather's like, a memo? We don't even have memos in this sisterhood. What do you mean? A DM, a text, a call, a song by the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? They lie, you know.
Well, I was the one who told Justin that she deserves to flirt. She's like, so there's the answer. There's the answer to the tea. We already got it.
And we see a flashback to Whitney doing a voice to text for Justin going,
Brittany is living her best life flirting with everyone. She's flirting with Joao. She's flirting with the guy who's holding a camera. She flirted with the fish today.
Probably true. So Braun was like, okay, all right. Can we just throw this tea over? I'm sick of talking about Jared. Okay. So then Heather's like, well, I'm ready to do my tea. Are you ready for the big B word? Okay, in the spirit of full disclosure, I have to stand for what I have been spilling the tea about. And I think you probably know what it is, Bronwyn, because I am deeply fascinated by it. But the rumor about Todd making out with someone and then farting, do you not feel like that's absurd?
throw the fucking box over. Okay? Just throw the box over. Just throw it over.
All of a sudden, Bronwyn is not happy with her game. I thought that was so funny. I was like, Bronwyn, you could at least try to pretend to be like, oh, whatever. Like, Bronwyn got so serious, it was like not having it whatsoever.
Well, I think the reason she got so serious is because it's supposed to be you're spilling tea about something that the tea hasn't been spilled yet. So this is old tea, and Heather's purposely bringing this up to remind Bronwyn that she's supposed to be mad at Lisa because Heather and Whitney are going to be going for Lisa and Meredith in about 2 seconds. So she's reminding her, remember, you're pissed off at Lisa. And I think that Bronwyn's like, I know what you're doing, Heather. You fucking asshole. Okay? And not only are you doing this with me and Lisa, but you're bringing up my husband farting all over some sloot. Okay? Just throw it overboard.
Heather's like, okay, well, I'm gonna can I apologize? I want to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Meredith's like, good, Heather. That was great.
Heather's just
for
so
you.
transparent. Oh my God. So Bronwyn's like, okay, well, I didn't find it funny, but you've spilled it and we've heard it. Okay, throw it overboard.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go next. Whitney, you and I had lunch, and in an effort to try to be a good friend to Meredith, I wanted to warn her about something that I think went too far, but it has upset you, and I want to apologize for spilling the tea that I should not have spilled. So I'm gonna throw mine in the harbor. Which, by the way, we also have not pointed out that this quote unquote harbor is that there's like a little like blue moat area that they've painted tarp
Yeah, it's like a tarp.
next to their chairs. They're throwing boxes that have been wrapped in like brown paper into like blue tarp. Like that's what this show is. Like when we have like Real Housewives of Miami goes off on a private jet. Like we have an entire season of Miami, it feels like, arguing about who gets to go on a private jet to go from Sevilla to this villa in the south of Spain, and who gets to have a seat. And this one, they're like, okay, it's time for you to throw your cardboard box into a tarp.
While wearing a Party City Founders wig. This shit is so funny. Okay, well, I'm gonna go next. Okay, Whitney. Okay, you already did that. Okay, so Whitney's like,
But wait, why didn't you stop me mid-conversation then and say, Whitney, stop saying that?
okay, well, I did question you.
Nuh-uh, you laughed.
And then we see a clip of Bronwyn going, well, okay, well, she's gonna scream at you for 5 hours if she hears that you said that about her. Okay, for sure. You are incoming rage. Oh, okay.
It is so snaky of Bronwyn to be like, well, if she hears that, she's gonna be so mad. I'm like, you're the one who tells her.
I know, but I do think, Bronwyn, I said earlier how Bronwyn is one of the worst about carrying the bones, like taking one thing and then going to the other person immediately. But in this case, she is talking about Whitney spreading that you're an alcoholic and a pill popper behind her back. So,
well, that's the other thing. Is like if you say those things, like for sure someone's gonna give Meredith the heads up.
Yeah, I think it's good to give her a heads up, because Whitney was just mad because she didn't get to out Meredith and call her an alcoholic in her own scene.
Yeah, and also like let's not forget who was the original bone carrier, Whitney Rose. Whitney Rose also is, my friends use like a sieve, like things like information just pass. My friends used to always call people sieves, like information, like it's not retained. The information goes right through someone to the next destination. So like if you call someone an alcoholic and a pill popper on TV, it's definitely gonna get back to them.
Yeah.
But I did think it was like, I actually thought it was nice of Bronwyn to apologize. She basically is like, my bad, I shouldn't have done it. And Whitney is like not letting her have it. Whitney is like, no, that's not fair. I thought I was confiding in you in front of a camera, in front of the nation, in a private conversation. I was confiding.
Me, trustworthy Whitney Rose, who never lies about anything. Lisa gave blowjobs for jazz tickets. Just for jazz.
Bronwyn's like, well, then you should take that up with her because I'm not the keeper of Meredith's wine.
Well, I'm not the keeper either, but I'm the keeper of a private conversation between you and I, and you broke that trust.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, and that I can apologize for. But now you're making me look bad. You're making me look horrible in front of Meredith. But you said it. It was going to look bad no matter what. It was going to look bad right now, or it could be addressed, or it was going to look bad when Meredith watches it on TV.
Yeah, and you're doing nothing but making yourself look bad in front of Meredith. All you're doing is coming for Meredith every single year. Bronwyn's like, well, if you're uncomfortable with her knowing about it, then you probably shouldn't have said it. Now, not tell me behind her back. Now, it's really between the two of you. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to just keep nodding until you stop talking to me. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I apologize, and then you two get to fight about it. I mean, because like most people will say, well, anything I'd say behind your back, I'd say to your face. But when he's like, now you're making me look bad. So you think I'm going to call a belligerent woman 2 days after we land? It's like,
if you want to go there, let's go there. Okay, Whitney, because everything I said was the truth. So stop with your lies.
What? That you didn't yell on the plane? That you didn't taunt her for 6 hours?
No, I did not.
Can I have the crazy pill that y'all took? Because I would love it.
Yeah, apparently you're already taking it. Yeah, that was a good one. I can't wait to tell horse number 2 that one later. It was good.
Well, of course, your easy route out is that I'm a liar, because anything I say or experience isn't true. But guess what? You had other witnesses there, Meredith, so you can't call me a liar.
Oh, well, you are a liar. So here we go. Let's talk about Whitney.
Calling me a liar triggers me so deeply because I feel like I'm a very honest person to a fault, and I feel like anytime they're lying, they just gaslight me and say you're lying, and she never takes accountability.
Yeah, you are a liar though. You've lied a million times on this show. And so she's like,
You want to go there? If you're going to call me a liar, let's do it. Alcoholic, pill popper.
I was like, okay, you know what? And who are you, you fucking hypocrite? You who has all these reports about being so wasted at BravoCon, you almost fell off the stage and were wasted the entire weekend with your buddy Heather, who just pissed all over herself and barfed all over herself on camera multiple times on this show, most notably at that drag queen bus thing that you guys just did. You two are something else.
Well, the other thing is that Whitney talks about like how this is all triggering for her because of her situation with her dad, which is very real. But also, like, given that you have had so much experience and firsthand, like, have been impacted firsthand by that stuff, it's crazy that then she would just yell at someone, alcoholic, pill popper, like weaponizing it against them. So
yeah, because if you really believe that she is an alcoholic and a drug addict, for you to do that to her, like go on camera and spread it and then scream alcoholic and pill popper, is really a destructive thing to do. And another destructive thing to do is to go on and compare your own trauma from your father and put that on somebody else. That's a whole sack of bullshit. You can't do that to people. And it's also shitty
really
to your
can't.
father, by the way. It's like, she's just a shithead, this Whitney Rose. I'm so glad she's showing her ass, because I think she's had a whole season of people buying into her bullshit. And I'm really glad she's showing her ass today, because this is gross. And then, don't worry, Heather's going to do the same thing in just a minute, where she's going to turn her trauma into and make that Meredith's fault too. We'll see. We'll wait for it. So Meredith first is like,
Well, I have some presents for you.
so she gets up and she walks and she grabs some bags. And Whitney's like,
Well, I'm sick of you being able to throw around character assassination things about me.
what did she say about you? What did she say? What was said about Whitney this season? I don't remember.
Meaning that, like, she's saying that Whitney's a liar. So Whitney's like, that's characters. That's like an assassination. Oh, you know what it is? It's almost like when two men dress up like what was that name of that musical? And they shoot each other, and one of them shoots the other one first. It's like an assassination, but of a character.
Yeah, exactly, Brittany. You got it exactly right.
Yeah, but she's calling you a liar because you're doing character assassinating things against her that she's calling lies. So you can't call the victim when you're the aggressor. She's so crazy. So Meredith is like,
All right, well, I've got presents.
and she passes them out, and everyone's like, thank you, thinking they're real presents. And she's like, wait a minute, multi-drug urine test cup. Oh my God. And Brittany's like, I've never in my life taken a drug test.
Like, where does one go for 7 drug tests last second?
I'm like, I don't think it was last second. I'm pretty sure this was planned.
And also, I like that she thinks that every store has just one drug test.
Where did she get 7?
Mary goes, that's a lot of urine.
All right, well, I am happy to take a drug test every single day of my life because I'm very honest about everything that I do. And as I've said for years, I'll have a drink here or there, maybe an occasional gummy, maybe a teaspoon of my toddler's baby food. So if you have made an accusation against me for substance abuse, I think you need to take the test.
This is gold. I love that she did this. And now let's watch how they turn this around so that they don't have to take the test. Because I was like, are they going to take this test? Because this is amazing. Because you know half of these people are on coke. I mean, they're on TV. So Brittany's like, well, I mean, this issue on the plane has taken on a whole new life of its own. Oh, God, we've graduated from Brittany plane drama. Now we're getting a doctorate soon. That's salutatorian.
So salutatorian at work. She is so happy that she's at the center of like the driving second half drama of the season. So Meredith is like, so the one with the accusations is so quickly putting it away, Whitney Rose. Wow, is this like your business just being put away for no one to see? That's a burn. Sounds like a projection.
I think it is, because notice Whitney didn't take this. I mean, we saw the below deck where Heather was on there with Angie Harrington, and she looked coked out of her mind that entire time. She was completely obnoxious.
Angie?
Whitney, Heather.
Oh.
Remember when she was on Below Deck with Angie Harrington?
Below Deck Adventure. I do. I don't really remember Heather, like what they did on that.
She was so fucking obnoxious on that. She was, if anybody wants to go back and look at it, tell me that woman's not coked out of her mind. And then Whitney's like,
well, what? Am I supposed to pull up my skirt and pee on it?
yes, Whitney, if you're going to be sitting here doing, throwing accusations at everyone else, let's see what's in your bloodstream, ma'am. I'd love to know, because you seem fucked up in every episode to me. So bring it on. Pee on it. Papa Squat,
What's in
lady.
your wallet? What's in your wallet of pee?
Papa Squat, lady. I loved this. I wish Meredith just made him do it.
Well, let's see that. Okay, you decide that you wanted to make this some kind of spread rumors behind my back, as you do almost every single year. No, you can't tell me what my intentions are. Stop talking. I'm talking right now.
No, that's not my intentions.
Yes, it was. I was going to have a very good monologue right now where I was going to reference rumors and asking this is my new board game, and you kind of ruined that for me.
You want me to talk about it in front of everyone?
I do, actually. And again, at this point, this is where Meredith has her little flouncy, I'm trying to use this Velcro here as a visual. She has this flouncy quill, and she's like, I do want you to talk about it. It's like she's trying to cast spells, magic spells. It's like this thing is flapping in front of her. Every time that feather bounced around on screen, I cracked up.
Well, I'm tired of Whitney making false accusations on me, and they are damaging, and they are hard to disprove, and she needs to worry about herself and her own life and stop projecting it onto me.
You do this every time you go to sleep. You wake up and you get more mad. You did it to me on the boat.
And then we see a flashback to Meredith. Now we go from Meredith wearing a founding father's wig to Meredith with a cleaver inside her head. I mean, the way that it just goes from costume to costume while they're having these fights is so funny. And we see that like at night on the yacht when she's like, oh, well, okay, you looked at a TikTok. And then in the morning she's like, well, you brought up a TikTok and the person I'm really angry at is Whitney Rose.
Yeah.
Whitney didn't warn me about the TikTok.
So then we come back, and Meredith's like,
well, I'm not allowed to think things over and realize that there are things that piss me off. She's like, you're absolutely allowed, but I'm describing my experience, and I've witnessed your behavior, and I recognize it. Oh, well, you know what? We're going to backtrack to every single event this year, and let's see how much I've had to drink. Let's start over. She's like, no, because that's a way to deflect. I'm describing my experience. This is a very sensitive subject, okay? Okay?
and so now she's going to bring on her dad drama as a way to deflect from her having to pee in a cup. Now who's deflecting? Pop, your squat.
In the past, when I've witnessed people acting the way that Meredith has, it was fueled by drugs or alcohol, and I don't know what's going on with Meredith, and I hope it's none of those things, and I just wish she understood why I worry about lying.
Yeah, you sound really worried, screaming alcoholic and pill popper, Whitney. You're just a real good Girl Scout over there.
Trauma.
So I just care about you, and you alarmed me. It's like, no, you don't care about me, or you would come to me. She's like, no, you don't care about me. That's why you don't accept the fact that I love you.
That's a huge accusation that you love her, okay? Because she's weaponizing her experience. That's huge. Imagine your friend is emotional upset, and instead of having compassion, you label her crazy and a drug addict when all she's trying to do is watch Crazy Rich Asians. Such a good movie, by the way. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, no wonder why she brought drug tests.
This isn't fair.
Well, I was going to have the conversation with you, and it got taken away from me by Bronwyn. You yelled at me, and I was upset. She's, I did not yell at you on the plane.
Mary tells us, yeah, this is exactly how I remember it.
No,
like,
she says it's not exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry, not exactly.
Yeah.
But she does say Meredith did yell at Whitney. I heard it with my own ears. I saw it. Like, why is she denying it? And we see a flashback to Walters in here, which I don't think we saw this part, but Mary's like, "Don't you remember when you were like, you're an idiot? She does like a Meredith Marks impersonation, like, you're an idiot, Whitney. Get off the plane, Whitney. You're ruining this movie for me, Whitney." I love Mary doing Meredith, but trying to do it in a tender way.
Yeah, and she's like, wow, it's almost like she wasn't there or she doesn't remember. So Heather's like, well, Meredith, you trust me and believe me. I was on the plane and you said the same thing to both of us. So they're having the same fight over whether or not she said, if you stay friends with Brittany, we're not friends. And Meredith said, I did not tell you our friendship was over. She goes, Lisa, what did she say? You've already said what she said before, so just try and say the same story, Lisa. And it's like, well, maybe stop calling someone a liar that you're trying to get onto your side. Like Heather, you would think that Heather would be better at this by now.
So Lisa's like, yeah, I wasn't there for that. I don't know. It's like, no, that's a very different story than when you said at Walters. And we have a flashback. At Walters, Lisa said, yeah, Meredith, you basically said it's like me or Brittany. And so Heather's like, yeah, you said that if you're friends with her, we're done. Well, I never turned to her and said we're not friends. I would never say that. Yes, you did. You said it. No, I didn't. You did. Why'd you apologize to me then? Why'd you send me a text message to apologize?
Well, it wasn't what I said. It was my tone, and that's why I sent you the apology. I mean, what did I say in the apology? Sorry, I snapped at you. That's what I said. She goes,
no, you wrote something completely different, and I can say that because I'm an author. Words matter to me. You said, sorry if I snapped at you.
Okay, well, maybe I said if I snapped.
You know, I know I'm not lying, and in fact, she's the one who's lying.
oh, okay. So you were sleeping, then you weren't sleeping, then you slept twice, then you kind of heard it, then it was 6 hours of pure screaming. You're lying. You are lying, ma'am. There is something going on. I think Meredith, I don't even want to get into it because it's like the 20,000th time we've had to have this conversation. And Whitney's like,
well, she's so fanatically defending herself to the point of bringing props and drug tests for all of us that this is projection. Because why would she want us to take drug tests?
because she wants to prove that you're on something, Whitney, which you probably are. Take the test. Prove her wrong.
They're both accusing each other of projecting and deflecting.
And she's willing to take it too, notice. So let her take it too. Take the test, Whitney. Go ahead.
Heather is like, Meredith, I have been a very, very good friend to you for a very, very long time. Well, and you lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. And you all said horrible fucking things about me that didn't happen. I have a toddler that I'm raising, and you would say those things. What happens if I get taken away? Who's going to slice the lemons? We all know you need 5 people, and if we only have 4, that lemon is not getting sliced.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? I know that only my teeth move, but you're calling me a liar? I am crying right now. People, do you see these tears? Nobody? Well, they're there. They are there. Tears are clear. Get off my ass.
What's going on, Heather? What's going on, Heather? Come on.
Furious. I'm furious. That's what. Because you
Why?
sit across from me and tell me, Heather Gay, that I lied.
I didn't say that.
Yes,
I
you
never said
did. Yes, you
No?
did. Did she not
I-
say
oh,
that?
I
Do
don't
not
know.
gaslight
don't
me.
I was watching
Do
Crazy
not
Rich Asians. I've been watching it this whole
gaslight
time.
me.
I was watching a very good film. I maybe talked about this subject for 5 minutes max. I'm watching a film.
Heather screaming about gaslighting when she drunkenly screamed at Lisa running around a boat trying to escape her, saying,
Just admit it. Just admit everything that you did.
Notice that Heather has to do that a lot.
No, even worse. Heather went around chasing Lisa around that yacht saying, I'm being a good friend for you. Why are you so mad at me that I'm being a good friend to you right now when I just accuse you of always being the one to leak things? But also, again, I don't want to harp on this point, but let's please acknowledge the comedy of Heather crying about being what she feels gaslit while she's in this wig and she's pointing that feather at Meredith Marks. You gaslight me.
She's like, well, I know what I said, and you misunderstood what I was saying. No, you're doing it to me still, and I'm upset because of what you did. You're questioning my loyalty. You're questioning my friendship. And you're questioning my air fryer. I was there.
I am quite familiar with someone telling me that like the entire history I've been told my entire life was true when in fact it wasn't. Mormonism, get ready. I'm bringing the weight of the church into this one, Meredith. You may have a toddler. I've got a religion. Get ready.
So now Meredith is the Mormon patriarchy. I cannot with this show.
She's like, this is a big trigger for me, especially growing up Mormon, leaving the church and having Mormons tell me to my face that the church I left was not the church that I lived in. And it was, and I don't want to be gaslit by Mormons, and I don't want to be gaslit by drug addicts and founders here either.
You guys have this ability to say what you think is the truth, and if we don't get it, fine, we're just fucking liars or crazy, and that's just not fair. Not in this sisterhood. I still feel very unsettled by this whole thing. I need you to say I'm horrified that what happened on the plane, and I'm so sorry, and not look at me and say that I'm a liar.
You are a fucking liar. And you know what? I'm so happy that Meredith and Lisa are just going to stick to their guns. This is now, what, the 5th time that they've tried coming out. And what Heather is saying, you guys have this ability to say what you think is the truth. And if we don't get it, if we don't fall in line, we're just fucking liars or crazy. That's exactly what you two have been doing in every single episode. Notice that nobody else is jumping on this train. If everybody else on this plane was so horrified, why is it only Whitney and Heather screaming and crying in every episode? I don't get it. So she's like, well, there's no resolution. I doubt there will be today. And apparently nobody's going to pee in their cup. So I guess we should just move on. I wish you just said Papa Squat, Whitney and Heather. Let's see what's in your system. I would just say that every other line, as I have been in this recap. P.
Mary asks the true question that's been going through all of our heads this entire episode. Is anyone else wearing a girdle besides me? Because it's cutting into my ribs.
So now Bronwyn has a big surprise, and it's her dress revealed. She's got something bigger and better. So meanwhile, she goes and changes, and she comes out wearing this huge ball gown with the Constitution draped down the front. And she says that she's had the Constitution this whole time, and now they're going to make a friend Constitution. And they're going to make rules and amendments for their friendship. So now they have to say, hear ye, and then they have to say their amendment.
Yeah, and I'll just say right now, these ladies are all going to be heading into a constitutional crisis within 15 minutes of the next episode because none of these amendments are going to be followed. So,
lots of executive orders coming down the pipe.
a lot of ratifications. So Heather's like, hear ye, be a woman of your word. I was like, that's a vague amendment. So, okay, whatever. And Lisa goes, hear ye, to be the friend that you expect others to be. And also like at Wendy's for your friends when they're like showing up places and stuff. That'd be really nice. Yeah, thanks.
Mary wants everybody to hear each other, but also forgive, okay? Because, you know, she's a preacher. So then Whitney's like,
Hear ye. There are topics that are off limits. Business, marriages, and children.
Whitney, you started this season coming after Lisa's business, and you have not let up. What are you talking about?
True. Hear ye. In this group, we need to be very careful about saying things about people without documentation. And I'd like to propose a second amendment. Everyone in this group must sign a petition to have Electra ride for Greece in the Olympics. Thank you very much.
Brittany wants everyone to see the best in people. And Meredith is like,
hear ye. Stop the reactive abuse. That is all I have to say.
Drops her quill.
I like her amendment is like a protest anthem. So Mary's like, what? Like,
everyone's like, hug each other, love each other, stop and smell the roses.
Stop the reactive abuse. I am done.
My amendment is that love is love, and I don't care if Michelle Yeoh doesn't approve. I was watching.
I'm going to have to Google reactive abuse.
So she looks it up and she reads it.
Reactive abuse happens when a victim of abuse reacts to an abuse in a way which could include physical violence or shouting of their own. Well, thank you for giving me a definition of your behavior, Meredith.
So they're like, okay, well, cheers the new amendment.
I think she's saying that. I think like a person with a brain would like parse that a little more and think maybe she's saying that you're using the alcoholism of your father to project onto other people. You fucking ding dong. She's just like, you are.
So Whitney says, I'm sorry, I was looking up reactive abuse. I was I was looking up to make sure. I was like, let me just double check that what Whitney's definition is actually the real one. So Whitney, Heather makes a joke. Okay, no more farts. And they're just like laughing. Oh my God. And Mary's like, I mean, farting can only go so far, and that's just no longer funny. And Mary, Queen of Gas. So that's where it ends. And next week we're off to the cast trip without even any sort of like, they didn't even plant the seed this week. We just are jumping into it. Yeah. So I guess we're in the final act of the season. I'm assuming it's going to end there on vacay. So it makes me a little sad.
Probably not, because there's at least 4 episodes left. So do you think they'll all be vacation?
I think so. This group does vacation pretty big. Look, it's a lesson to be learned. You keep people on regional jets for the first, half of their tenure on TV. That then when they finally get to cross borders and go international, they go wild on their cast vacations.
Yeah, well, let's see. We can hope. Well, I guess we can be sure, because they will. This is going to be crazy.
And by the time we come back to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City next week, there'll be one other person who'll be able to listen. Her name is Jen Shaw. She's being released 1 week from today. So
you don't think that they can listen in jail? Come on.
But she can listen freely. She can listen and put her feet up on the dash.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This was a fun one. We will be back later with some Vanderpump Rules, and then we've still got a full week. Southern Charm and the premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills coming straight at you, baby. We sure love you guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.